Barb is a feisty aged care insider blowing the whistle. The 86-year-old's written a book detailing the good, the bad and the hilarious of living in a nursing home. Management, though, is furious and have gone so far as to ban Barb's book. But Barb won't be silenced.
It's hilarious. You have no idea how hilarious it is. I want everybody to know what old people go through in old age homes.
You certainly do have the right to tell your own story in Australia. This does seem a fraction over the top.
This tale of a senior citizen and attempted censorship started the old-fashioned way.
There you go, mate. Perfect. Thank you.
A posted package arriving at the Current Affair office containing a book and a phone number.
Hello, is that Barbara?
Our instructions were to meet Barbara Kanan at 11 a.m. the next day outside her nursing home. Sure enough, when we arrived, Barbara was ready to roll, with quite a story to tell. But before we get to Barbara's battle, you need to know she's quite the creative. A former music teacher, Barb has appeared in a spicy music video among other acting gigs and still performs concerts herself for residents at the nursing home.
I want everybody to know that I'm extremely active. I cannot live one day without producing either a woolen hat, a poem, a portrait, a book or something.
As staff shortages, lockdowns and other COVID-related issues made life tough for nursing homes, Barb kept her eyes and her mind open, writing down her observations. Some were serious.
We feel discarded, dumped, abandoned, sidelined, redundant.
Some not so serious.
The one who eats 3 hard-boiled eggs for breakfast is the same resident always scratching his bum crack in outsized khaki shorts. Many a challenge for our cleaners.
Later, typing it all up and producing a self-published memoir called Truth is the Best Lie.
I thought, these old people haven't got a voice. Nobody's speaking up for them. You should have seen what was going on.
Barb hoped that the family and friends she intended to send the book to might get a laugh out of it and help raise awareness for the troubled aged care sector.
Is your purpose here to highlight a serious situation in a light-hearted way?
I'm trying to amuse people, I'm trying to entertain people, I'm trying to show the funny side of how it is to be in an old age home. There's a funny side too.
Barb calls her book a black comedy, but the nursing home isn't laughing. And how do we know that? Well, in a pillow Barb was sitting on, she'd smuggled out the warning letter the nursing home sent her after they received complaints from other residents.
Do you think everybody's taking this book that is described as a black comedy a little bit too seriously?
Of course. It's supposed to make you laugh. It's an entertainment.
The letter reads, "You have named fellow residents and articulated medical conditions. Your document is potentially breaching confidentiality, is defamatory and potentially in contravention of the law. We ask you advise us to whom copies of the document have been circulated."
There isn't a right to privacy. There's no tort of privacy in Australia. You certainly do have the right to tell your own story in Australia. There's not many laws that restrict that right.
Justin Quill from major law firm Thomson Geer.
I suspect the nursing home has written to Barb in the way they have because they're trying to maybe make some of the other residents happy, but it does seem a fraction over the top.
Barb admits she did use some real names and does include medical conditions for context. Yes, some may be upset by that, but does that offence trump Barb's right to tell her story?
If you find out about someone's medical condition, there's nothing in particular stopping you from publishing that and broadcasting that far and wide. If a person in an aged care home tells someone else about their medical condition, there's not anything stopping that other person from telling others.
Quill represents some of the nation's biggest publishers. For the record, Barb's book has a more modest audience. She paid $1,500 saved from her pension to have the book produced, and it's not for sale.
I have given out, to the best of my knowledge, 25.
Craig Geer is the CEO of the Older Persons Advocacy Network, or OPAN.
OPAN's aged care advocates are there to provide free, confidential support to older people, to, I suppose, walk alongside them.
If you or a loved one is involved in a disagreement with an aged care provider, OPAN is a good place to start for seniors.
Our services are free, they're confidential, to help them to raise their issues, to know that they're protected by the Charter of Aged Care Rights, and at the direction of the older person, to speak to their provider on their behalf to get their issues resolved.
The nursing home told ACA some deeply personal matters were discussed in the book, and they want Barb's cooperation in not further distributing the material. But her place at the home has never been in question. We never planned on publishing the specifics of Barb's book either. We just wanted to make sure our elders felt heard. Truth is, Barb's sorry to those who are upset, but she won't be putting down the pen. She plans to continue to speak up for seniors.
Do you think you've done the wrong thing?
I know I've done the wrong thing, and I did it on purpose because I want everybody to know what old people go through in old age homes.
Well, Barb has agreed to ask for her neighbours' permission before she puts them in a book next time, and you can read a statement from the nursing home on our website.